Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. In this video we will be trying out one of GLICK'S most recent teams. The team focuses around Belly Drum Snorlax with support from other mons such as Trick Room Sinestro, Follow Me Clefairy, Scarf Lando, Iron Hand, and another sweeper in Clangorous Soul Como-O. You can pause the video and take a look at the team here, and thanks again to GLICK for the team. Without further ado, let's get right into it. Alrighty, let's get into game 1. They start with the Arcanine and the Mouse Hold. I start off with my Snorlax and my Landorus, get that Intimidate going right away. Right off the bat, he goes for the Terra Grass with the Arcanine. I go for the Rock Slide, do a little bit to each of them. He goes for the Beat Up, gets that Justified boost on his Arcanine as his attack just starts to skyrocket. I'll speed this up a little bit. Thankfully, I get the lucky flinch. Go for the Belly Drum, max out the attack on Snorlax, eat my berry, get a nice chunk of health back. I then switch into my Sinestro, get the Hospitality, get a nice heal, go for the Protect, want to see what he's doing. He goes for the Follow Me, and the Flame Charge, which I eat up. He goes for another Follow Me, goes for another Flame Charge on my Snorlax, gets that speed boost. I go for the Facade, take out the Mass Hold with the crit. I then set up the Trick Room with my Sinestro. He goes into the Flamigo, copies all those stat boosts, doesn't matter. Go for the Facade, take him out in one shot. Go for the Matcha Gotcha, get a little bit of damage on the Arcanine, but I eventually go down to the Crunch. Iron Hands comes in on my side, he decides to go into his Farafrig, goes for the Helping Hand, goes for the E-Speed, takes out my Snorlax unfortunately. I go for the Heavy Slam, do a little bit of damage to the Farafrig. I then go into my other sweeper, the Como-O, and Iron Hands goes for a Drain Punch, takes out the Arcanine. He sets up a Reflect, and I go for the Clangorous Soul, get that Omni boost on my Como-O, and the Throat Spray boost as well. His next mon is then the Goldango, floating on the balloon over there. I go for the Heavy Slam, do barely anything to the Giraffe. He goes for a Future Sight, and a Psyshock on my Como-O, I hang on. Go for the Clangorous Soul, Farafrig just hangs on, and I pop that balloon. My Trick Room finally goes away. He switches into his Palafin. I go for another Clangorous Soul, take out the Palafin, and Goldango is just hanging on over there. He goes for another Psyshock, Como-O finally goes down. I retaliate with the Wild Charge, take out the Goldango. My opponent forfeits, and we got our first win. Alright, let's get right into game 2. I start with the Como-O and the Iron Hands. They start with the Clefairy and the Typhlosion. I go right for the Fake Out, make that Typhlosion flinch. Then I use Clangorous Soul on my Como-O, get that Omni boost. Lose some health, activate the Throat Spray, get another boost. The Clefairy goes for the Dazzling Gleam, does a nice chunk to both my mons over here. I then switch into my Sinestro, get that Hospitality for Como-O, go for the Protect, trying to preserve my Como-O. He goes for an Eruption, does a huge chunk to Sinestro. Fires off another Dazzling Gleam, Sinestro just hangs on. Typhlosion fires off another Eruption, takes out the Sinestro and does a little bit to Como-O. I retaliate with the Clanging Scales, take out the Typhlosion, do absolutely nothing to Clefairy. He goes for one more Dazzling Gleam, takes out my Como-O. My opponent then goes into the Ogerpon, I go into my Snorlax and my Iron Hands. Ogerpon uses that Spiky Shield, I go for that Fake Out and do nothing but damage myself right there. He goes for another Dazzling Gleam, does absolutely nothing. I go for the Belly Drum, max out my attack on my Lax, eat my berry, get a nice chunk of my health back. He goes for the Follow Me and the Ivy Cudgel on Snorlax, I hang on. Go for the Heavy Slam, take out the Clefairy, go for the Facade, take out the Ogerpon. His next Pokemon is the Ursaluna Blood Moon and the Sinestro. He goes for the Rage Powder, goes for the Blood Moon, takes out my Snorlax. I go for the Heavy Slam, do a little bit to Sinestro over there. I then switch with my Scarf Lando, intimidate both of his mons over there, go for the Terra Flying, he goes for a Rage Powder, doesn't matter, take him out with a Terra Blast. Ursaluna fires off an Earth Power, takes out my Iron Hands. His last Pokemon is in the Qianpao, I go into my last one, the Clefairy. My Clefairy goes for the Helping Hand, boost up my Lando, go for the Terra Blast, take out Qianpao. He goes for the Blood Moon, Clefairy just hangs on. He then goes for the Terra Ghost, I go for another Helping Hand, go for the Terra Blast, his Ursaluna just hangs on, goes for the Earth Powder, but unfortunately he goes down to his Life Orb. Good game. In conclusion, I think Wolf's team is very strong, but definitely not unbeatable. But let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe, and stay tuned for future content. Peace.